I masnadieri. Libretto by Andrea Maffei. First performance on the 22nd of July, 1847, at Her Majesty's Theatre, London. Verdi wrote to Francesco Lucca, who was managing the closure of the contract with Her Majesty's Theatre in London, "Rest assured that I will not put up with the slightest shortcoming. I have been treated so shabbily in this whole affair that if my opera isn't put on at the proper time and with everything done as it ought to be done, I tell you quite frankly, I will not have it performed." Germany, the beginning of the 18th century. Carlo, the favourite son of Massimiliano, Count Moore, has been away for some time, following an argument with his father, but he longs to return home. So he writes a letter to his father, but the letter is intercepted by Carlo's wicked and jealous brother, Francesco. Carlo receives a letter from his father that has actually been written by Francesco, in which he is told that if he returns home, he will be made prisoner. Carlo, in despair, decides to become the leader of a band of thieves. At his castle, Massimiliano, Count Moore, is resting in the company of Amalia. He has forgiven Carlo a long time ago and hopes for his return. The young girl is engaged to Carlo. In her cavatina, Amalia recalls the angelic gaze of her beloved. Meanwhile, Francesco hatches a plan to take possession of his father's title and riches. He recruits Arminio, who delivers the false news that Carlo has died in battle, despairing about his father not being willing to forgive him. On his deathbed, he has expressed his desire that Francesco marries Amalia. Massimiliano falls to the ground as if he were dead. Francesco celebrates his new title as Count with a banquet. Amalia cries for the death of the old Count Massimiliano and her beloved Carlo. She sees Arminio, who has regrets, and confesses the whole truth. Massimiliano and Carlo are both alive. When Amalia rejects Francesco's advances, he threatens to arrest her and to make her his concubine, but she manages to escape from the castle. In a forest near Prague, Carlo is praised by his companions for his courage. He recalls his beloved Amalia with suffering and longing. But there is no time for nostalgia. The forest has been surrounded by soldiers, and the bandits are ready for battle. Amalia and Carlo find each other, but Carlo can't bring himself to admit to his beloved that he is the leader of the bandits, and he is seized by sadness. Carlo sees a man roaming near the old tower of the forest. It is Arminio. He leads Carlo to his father who is being held prisoner by Francesco in the tower. In a rage, Carlo considers taking revenge on his brother Francesco. In Moor Castle, Francesco is tormented by nightmares that reveal to him his future damnation. At this point, Carlo is forced to reveal to his father and to Amalia that he is leader of the bandits. They are shocked by this revelation, but Amalia renews her vow of love. She would rather die than be abandoned again. Carlo, who has sworn an oath of loyalty to his companions, cannot allow Amalia to live in disgrace, and so he stabs her to death. I Masnadieri was Verdi's first opera to be presented in a theatre outside of Italy. It was a very important occasion, because the theatre that was to host the premiere was Her Majesty's Theatre in London, the stronghold of Italian opera abroad. In this, Verdi was a pioneer, because Rossini, Bellini and Donizetti never wrote for the English capital. Verdi was not in good health in 1846, and I Masnadieri comes from that period of convalescence that the composer spent in Recoaro, a town famous for its healing spring waters, with his librettist and friend Andrea Maffei. Nevertheless, the commission was extremely interesting. Despite him complaining to his friend Giuseppina Appiani, "I am well enough in London, but I am unlikely to remain so in this horrible weather." Verdi gave all the necessary attention to the premiere. He was to conduct the debut of I Masnadieri himself, in an event that was going to be the most important occasion of the season. He wrote to his friend Clarina Maffei about the preparations. "I've already had 2 rehearsals with orchestra, and if I were in Italy, I could give you a cool appraisal of the opera. But here, I can't understand anything. Blame the climate. Blame the climate." The premiere of the 22nd of July, 1847, was not well received by the critics, but Verdi was much praised by the audience, which included Queen Victoria, the Prince Consort, Louis Napoleon, and the Duke of Wellington. As his faithful pupil Emanuele Muzio noted, Verdi aroused a furore in London, but the English are a matter-of-fact and thoughtful people, and never give way to enthusiasm like the Italians, partly because they can't understand too well, and partly because they think that well-bred people shouldn't make a lot of noise. In the classification of Verdi's most performed operas in the world, I Masnadieri comes in 18th place. In the classification of the most performed operas in the world, I Masnadieri comes in 229th place.